guys. I promise I won't be shouting today. The short live stream that I did last night, I was shouting so much, it's giving me a sore throat and a headache, and I can't... The sore throat's gone, but I can't get rid of the headache. So I won't be on too long, but I just want to give you some things that I've found. And what I found isn't... look, this is just Nicola Bully all over again. All over again. If you're in the UK, you'll know who Nicola Bully is. And Nicola Bully did get some international YouTubers covering her case. So even if you're not in the UK, you might know who Nicola Bully is. Nicola Bully drowned in a river in my county, the great county of Lancashire, here in northern England, last year, on the 27th of January last year. And it was just an absolute nightmare, because there was this dive team called SGI who came wanting all the glory, and it was nonsense, absolute nonsense. So I'm not going to reopen the whole Nicola Bully thing again, but the Sebastian Rogers case has become, in my mind, it's become the new Nicola Bully, because it's an absolute circus. Absolute circus. Purple AJ has gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Thank you. Purple AJ, Sassy Nose, Dogs with Jobs, Angela, Lisa, and Thank You No were gifted memberships. So you guys, welcome to memberships for a month. Oh, my washing basket's just fallen down. Always does that. This room is so precariously balanced. Like the entire room is just precariously balanced. Okay. All right. So I'm not going to stay on too long. And I know it's a bad time for a lot of people, but I'm going to keep it under an hour so that it's watchable. Right. So in last night's live stream, I shouted about concerns about the United Cajun Navy. Who are the United Cajun Navy? Right, well, I'd never heard of them until the Riley Strain case, and they hopped in at around day 10, at around the time when a body would start to float in the Cumberland River. So they hopped in, they didn't find him, but they basically took the limelight. They did a press conference. They stood with the family when the family did a press conference. So it looked like they found Riley. Riley wasn't found by the United Cajun Navy or any searcher. He was found completely by accident by a couple of workers who were moving barges. And Riley had got stuck under a barge. And when they moved the barge away, he popped right up. All right. So nobody found Riley. No official search organization, the cops, they didn't find Riley. It was an accidental find. Right. But they took the limelight. And it seems that that taking the limelight has peed off some people who were genuinely there to search for Riley Strain. All right, well, it seems that they're doing the same again in Sebastian's case. And look, I absolutely loathe having to be negative towards any search organization, regardless of who they are, regardless of whether they're a big organization, a small organization. I'm very careful. Right, I have to have something to go off. I'm not just negative about search organizations, right? I want people to get out there, whether you're a private searcher on your own, whether you're an organization. I want people boots on the ground looking for these missing people. All right, obviously keep yourself safe. Don't do something that your ability and your expertise doesn't fit you with. Don't put yourself in danger and then having to take resources away from the search to find you. Don't do that. That's stupid. But if you've got the ability and you've got the expertise, then please go and do it. Please go and do it. But it's unfortunate when there are organisations who get involved in searches just, I don't know, for publicity, to stand in front of a camera, to show off, to showboat. That's exactly what Peter Folding from SGI did in the Nicola Bulley case, and it became an absolute circus. Look, Peter Folding's not the only reason why the Nicola Bulley case became a circus, but he certainly did not help matters all over the media. He was on the news every day saying she's not in the river, she's not in the river, just showboating, absolute nonsense. Well, I've got shades of that with the United Cajun Navy. And here is, this came up on my suggested videos this morning. And Dulce, remember, for 24 months, you're one of the OGs. Anybody who has been a member for 2 years and above is an absolute star, absolute OG. Caught me twice, live twice today. Okay, so it's today for you. Well, I was live yesterday and I'm live today for me. So there you go. All right. This is never heard of this group. As you can see, don't subscribe to them. This is the only video I've ever watched of them. They're called Narked Divers. So I went to their page. Had a look.
Diving dates back centuries.
Had a look at their about section. So can you guys see this? Yes. All right. Narked Divers, established in 2013, is an altruistic underwater search and recovery dive team, aided families of missing loved ones at zero cost. Our divers skillfully recover lost items like iPhones, weapons, boats, and more, while cleaning our waterways. We venture into diverse water bodies, committed to locating missing persons and their vehicles submerged beneath the surface. Transparent video documentation and live streams invite you to be part of this journey. With your support, we can extend our reach and solve more missing persons cases, offering solace and closure to grieving families. All right. So that's their bio. And they went out to search for Riley. And unfortunately, they had a bad experience with the United Cajun Navy. I'm gonna play this video, 7 minutes. As you can see, it's the only video I've ever watched from them. Don't know them. They just came up in my suggesteds. And we're going to play this video. Not going to play it all, but we're going to get a feel for it. So this is Narked Divers. All right.
What's happening, y'all? It's Trey, Narked Divers. I told you all I'm not really here to make friends. I'm here to build a team, work with people with the same mindset. So when we were down in Nashville, Tennessee, Ronnie, Brothers Underwater Recovery, Integrity Canine Services, and myself were up on the bank doing our due diligence, checking out the ground, checking out vantage points, looking into the waterway. We were approached by the TikTokers and News Nation. They asked us why we were there, what we were doing, what our game plan was. We told them, and then they asked us if they could come on Ronnie's Brothers Underwater Recovery's boat. And Ronnie said, well, we really don't have the room. We're trying to do our search. They were very persistent, and they asked if could they meet us at the boat ramp we were going to be deploying from, and we exchanged contact information. We deployed from the boat ramp that we went to, Shelby Park boat ramp. We're doing our search. We did our search, then we looked at the vantage points, found out where he possibly could have went in at, right? We go.
Okay, so they were approached by, I don't know which TikTokers approached them, but he was there, his team was there, there was another team there. They were looking around vantage points where Riley might have fallen in the river. They were looking at places where they might start the search. So they're just basically doing a recce. They're checking it out, right? These TikTokers don't know who the TikTokers were, but they were approached by News Nation, who wanted to tag along with them, wanted to go for a ride. All right. So to get some footage, I'm guessing. All right. Didn't Narked Divers find the other body in the Cumberland River? I've no idea. This is the first time I've ever heard of them. And I'm probably going to start following them. I'll subscribe to them even. I don't know them. Don't know them at all. Right. EquiSearch are the best, yes. There's Texas EquiSearch, and then there's EquiSearch Midwest. EquiSearch Midwest are actually out there on the ground, or at least they have been, searching for Sebastian Rogers. Have you seen them hogging any press conferences? Have you seen them? No, because they just go and do their thing. And you know, they try their very best to work with law enforcement. They don't step on any toes. And if they're not welcome, they just go away. They don't create a big fuss about it. They just go away. Texas EquiSearch found Audrey Cunningham. Do you see a big fanfare? No. Tim Miller did an interview or two. Were they hogging the limelight? No. All right. Okay, so this is Narked Divers continuing.
Go back to get our dive gear. They're at the boat ramp. They end up on the boat. You know, no harm, right? They gave us some information for Riley's dad, and then we went back with the cameraman, and the man from Mr. Flagg, the Cajun Navy, was present on the bank, ironically, right? He was not there the entire morning when we were there, but, you know, he could have been anywhere else, right? So just an uneasy feeling that we got. So I'm just going to play this clip from a different news company or news station. We have several watercraft. That's Flagg from Cajun Navy, right? He's saying we have several watercraft. What you're seeing is the cameraman from News Nation. You got Ronnie operating the boat. You got the K9 and Integrity K9 Services, correct? And then they're filming this, portraying this as it's Cajun Navy. So as they orchestrated everyone coming out, supposedly, right? And then you have this.
They went missing, and the flow rate has significantly reduced as well.
So you got him talking a bunch. I got to be careful what I play and don't play for copyright reasons.
It's a relative.
You got me, Integrity K9 Services.
It was, but
and you got Ronnie operating the boat, the cameraman, and we're getting ready to deploy, right?
Well, that's my next question. When you say that the river's down, is that helpful? Because there's presumably more embankment that you could see.
So they go on, a spiel, yada, yada. And they go on. And then she says,
I'm just looking at the pictures of divers in the water. I understand
divers,
started,
plural, right?
Saturday. Where do you even begin diving? Like, what is it?
It's kind of common sense on where you would start searching and diving. And then she says, why would you plant that flag? The flag is there so I don't get ran over by a boat for the second time of my life. It's not planting a flag. That flag's for me so I don't get ran over. It's kind of common sense. They found the debit cards, credit cards right there at the location, right? So we just want to clear the area because we're not getting any hits on sonar or with the dog. She goes on to ask him some questions that he can't answer about the dog, about me, or about Ronnie and the boat and what we're doing there, why we would plant that flag. And the entire time we're there, you got News Nation, Cajun Navy planting all this information, and they're just running with the story, running with whatever. And then we all just thought, oh, well, it is what it is, correct? Just let it be. And then I see this video come out.
Single person out there that has been following JLR Investigates to stay away from the United Cajun Navy. They are a complete scam. And I don't come on very often ever talking about drama.
So if you listen to this man's story, he's going to explain it 150 times better than what I ever could.
So basically, what this guy from Narked Divers is talking about is an experience with the United Cajun Navy, exactly like JLR has talked about, that Dolly Vision has talked about, that United Cajun Navy just come along, muscle in, and take the credit, right? They don't want people out there live streaming. They don't want people out there filming because they want to hog the limelight. They don't want somebody else there who's filming, right? So this is why they've run JLR off. Dolly Vision's doing his own thing. Right, they call the cops on JLR. Now, whatever you want to say about JLR, I don't like JLR when he's going harassing people. But when he's out there doing searching, I'll watch him. All right. So Narked Divers had exactly the same experience as JLR. This guy from United Cajun Navy who went on News Nation, who did the press conference, did a press conference when they turned up there. They were there with the family when Riley was found. Not by them. Okay. And the divers that they photographed, that News Nation photographed, that this dude from the United Cajun Navy took credit for, was actually this guy here from Narked Divers. Did he say that? No. Well, the guy from Narked Divers didn't want to play the whole of this because of copyright, but I'll take my chances. News Nation demonetized videos, but I'm not bothered. All right, I'm not bothered for this one. So this is the News Nation clip that Narked Divers was playing. All right, so this was the interview, the very interview. Let's show you. All right, so Mizzou student Riley Strain. Oh no, wrong one. All right, here we go. Mizzou student Riley Strain may have underestimated treacherous riverbank. Flagg. So someone called Flagg from the United Cajun Navy. All right. So here we go. This is the exact same. Mizzou student Riley Strain may have underestimated treacherous riverbank. All right. So this is the interview with the dude who hogged the limelight by United Cajun from United Cajun Navy that hogged the limelight. We're going to play this. All right. We're going to listen to what this dude says, taking the credit for the divers who were in the water, who were Narked Divers and another team, talking about the dog, which wasn't his dog. Right. So let's play this.
And I want to bring in David Flagg. He's the Navy's National Director of Operations. He was an organizer of today's press conference with Riley's family. David, thank you so much for being with me right now. Let me ask you this. I have been so curious about that river behind you. Can you give me a feel for what that river's like? Is it deep? Is it dark? Is it murky? Is it wide? Is there a heavy current? Like, bring me up to speed on what you're dealing with.
Were they asked to leave? I don't know that they were asked to leave. But the point is that United Cajun Navy just came in, went on News Nation, and took the credit for all of the activity that was going on in the water.
Pretty much, yes, and yes. It is deep. It is dark. It's rather murky. The water level has dropped 4 to 6 feet since Riley went missing, and the flow rate has significantly reduced as
well. That's true.
Well, but as any river, a reduced flow rate is a relative term. It's slower than it was, but still capable of.
So this picture of this boat, this isn't United Cajun Navy, all right? This is footage of Narked Divers and another organization that was out there with Narked Divers that News Nation asked to tag along with. They wanted footage so that they could play that footage on their show. Nothing wrong with that. All right, nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But this, just bear in mind, this is not the United Cajun Navy.
sweeping somebody away if they weren't careful.
Well, that's my next question. When you say that the river's down, is that helpful? Because there's presumably more embankment that you could see, and if there is a body, it might be easier to spot.
That's correct. Theoretically, yes. You know, it's exposed some more of the rocks, some more of the brush, things of that nature there. If there were a body in the river, it potentially could have surfaced and come ashore where it would be more visible now.
So that's the dude from Narked Divers with his flag. So planting the flag so that, you know, it's saying divers here so that boats who come along don't run over him while he's underwater. All right, so he's planted his flag. So that's Narked Divers. That's the footage that Narked Divers showed. Right. Okay.
And how is it that you're determining? I'm looking at the pictures of divers in the water. I understand they started diving Saturday. Where do you even begin diving? Like, what is it that would plant that flag and determine that's a good spot to start looking?
Well, some of these divers are private individuals, private volunteers.
So at least he said these are private divers, private volunteers. Okay. Some of these divers are private volunteers. Okay, that's fine. Good stuff. Dulce, thank you for the 20 Australian dollars. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And Blissful Essence, thank you for the $10. That's your first super chat, YouTube tells me. Thank you so much. All right.
Who have of their own volition showed up to try and help locate Riley. The police department, Nashville Police, has also had their dive team in the water. And it's, I mean, primarily it's where is the last place that this person was seen? You have to have a starting point. In this case, the last place that Riley was seen was along the walk on Gay Street here. And, you know, with his debit card being found.
So not his sonar. Not his sonar. So honestly, this is just as much News Nation that's problematic, because what you're doing is News Nation has taken footage from Narked Divers and other independent dive teams that were out there, and they've put this by the side of David Flagg talking from the United Cajun Navy. So this is just as much News Nation being somewhat, I don't know, is it unethical? It's just basically not explaining who's doing what. Thank you, PJ, as well, for the $1.99. Thank you so much. So, News Nation. Right, let's recap at this point. News Nation turned up on the Saturday morning when Narked Divers and another dive team were there, like getting ready, putting a flag in where they're going to start, when they're going to start diving, where they think Riley went into the water. All right, disingenuous, thank you, that's a good word. All right, so they get some footage for their show. Nothing wrong with that, right? So they're getting all the footage they can, getting a shot here of the sonar scan. And then they have this guy from the United Cajun Navy who then comes along, misleading, thank you, who comes along, agrees to all the interviews, does his own press conference. So what you do is you pair the footage that you're seeing that's not the United Cajun Navy with the United Cajun Navy. You assume that the United Cajun Navy are doing it all, because News Nation, in a really disingenuous way, have paired the two together. So you get a spurious correlation. So it's not all, I'm not blaming this all on the United Cajun Navy at this point. This is just as much News Nation that's being disingenuous as them. Okay.
Where it was, that gives a logical starting place for, dive teams, boats with sonar, potentially cadaver dogs, anything of that nature. But you do have to start somewhere.
I'm seeing some pictures also of a canine that's in one of the boats. How does that work? I mean, I can't imagine
So this is the canine, not his canine, not his canine. The canine belonged to the divers, not him. Did he say, oh, well, the dog's not mine, so I can't comment on that? No, 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 I'm starting to shout and I don't want to. I've got a headache and I don't want to give myself a sore throat. I feel like I'm coming down with some kind of fever. I know I'm not. I'm just giving myself a headache because I shout too much. I'm trying to keep my voice down. All right. So if this was me, I would say, this is not my canine. I can't comment on that. But no, he goes and talks, and everything he says here isn't complete bullshit, right? There is some accuracy in what this guy's saying. Therefore, we're going to go through it, and I'm going to stop it because, believe it or not, I know about dogs. All right.
A canine on the water. But is that canine just being transported to different areas of the embankments and then doing a quick scan of an embankment and returning to the boat?
No, not necessarily. A lot of the cadaver dogs, matter of fact, most cadaver dogs are capable of picking up a scent of a cadaver that is in the water.
Yeah, they are. However, in rivers, especially rivers like this, which are quite fast flowing, that dog is going to have to be directly over the target to be in any way reliable. Otherwise, that scent is just going to be washed downstream, and that dog, it's just going to be confused, if at all, picks up a scent. So on lakes where water is calm, cadaver dogs are great because they can, you know, once they're close to the target, they'll start getting agitated. And then once the boat's over the target, then they'll actually alert. But in a fast flowing river like this, the question is that dog useful? Potentially, yes, but they have to be directly over that target. Right? Did he say that? No.
So it's a little bit of both. The dog is, trained to pick up.
Thank you. The canine belongs to Ron with Underwater Brothers. He does, and that's what Narked Divers said. That's exactly what Narked Divers said, that he was out there, Narked Divers team was out there with Ron. Okay. So that was the other team that was out there. There was Ron and then Narked Divers working together. All right. And News Nation comes in, gets some footage. Not wrong of them to want to do that. Get some really good footage. You know, it's very engaging. It shows exactly what's going on. I'm all for that. But it's disingenuous to team that with the spokesperson from the United Cajun Navy, who did none of this. None of this is theirs. The divers didn't belong to them. The dog and this boat doesn't belong to them. But yet News Nation disingenuously are pairing this with the United Cajun Navy, which gives the United Cajun Navy the kudos. The kudos. Very misleading footage. Did I realize this at the time? No. I remember watching this at the time. This was in my history, my YouTube history. I watched this at the time. I thought, oh, that's very interesting. Oh, look, I'd never heard of the United Cajun Navy before. I had absolutely no reason to doubt what they were doing. And I just assumed, like probably everybody else watching, I just assumed that this was their kit, this was their dog, and they were out there. But no, they weren't. They were stood on the shoreline. This dude, this David Flagg, was stood on the shoreline doing interviews. And his press conference. Did they even go in the water? Did they even do anything? Maybe they launched a boat. I don't know. But none of this that News Nation are showing is theirs. And it's exactly what they've done in the Sebastian Rogers search. Listen, I watched Dolly Vision last night. I watched him, like he's 4 hours behind me. So it was my afternoon, his morning, and he was driving about. It was really interesting. He went on a little road trip around the area. And yeah, there was a little bit of rain, but by the afternoon, I watched the afternoon thing where he was doing his drone, and it was clear. It was clear. He was there. Dollyvision was there flying his drone. You don't start going flying drones when there's like a massive wind and a rainstorm. It was clear. It was blue skies. It was blue skies. The United Cajun Navy, right, that were meant to be doing a search for Sebastian yesterday, called off their search because of the weather. Go and watch Dollyvision's footage. Just go and flick through it. You don't even have to sit and watch a 4-hour live stream. Just go and flick through it and look at the sky. Look at the sky. Yeah, it's overcast, a little bit drizzly in the morning, clears right up. There's no reason whatsoever why the United Cajun Navy couldn't have gone out. Who's Dollyvision? He's a YouTuber. Just type in Dollyvision into YouTube. No, you can't make this stuff up. But the tragic thing is, this is a missing child. The tragic thing is these organizations who are misleading people for, I don't know, donations or publicity or whatever, right? What they do is they take away from legitimate, very hard-working search organizations and private individuals who want to go out and do this job. Did United Cajun Navy come for Sebastian, take donations and move on to another case? Not as yet. Not as yet. They're still there in Hendersonville. I don't know how long they're going to be there. That's one of the things that pissed me off so much. That's why I was shouting and bellowing last night in my live stream. That, you know, I said that in a week's time, who's actually going to be there for Sebastian? The United Cajun Navy are probably going to do a couple of days, if any, right? Because if they can't handle a little bit of drizzle, then they're not going to be able to do anything, are they? What, like, it was blue skies and it was inclement weather. They couldn't go out. They couldn't go out. So in a week's time, when United Cajun Navy have, you know, done their bit for publicity and taken some donations, are they going to be there? Are they going to still be there? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Are they actually going to do anything? You know, they've run the searchers off like all weekend. There were searchers on the ground, like Seth, Sebastian's dad, was out there. JLR was out there searching with him. JLR was live streaming the whole thing, saying, come on down, come on down, come on down, giving people the place to come to. People were turning up on Sunday. I was watching it. People were turning up. People were out there searching. Is there anybody out there? No. There's Dollyvision driving around, but he doesn't want to go off into the woods on his own, rightly. So he's driving around and doing his drone stuff, which is useful, right? He's got all this drone footage he's going to show. That's all great. That's useful. But there's no organised search. Nothing. And they've run off the genuine searchers. Whatever you think of JLR, he could have got people down there. He could have got people on the ground down there. And yes, there is risks with having people turn up and potentially trampling all over evidence. There is that. But when you just want boots on the ground to just go and cover an area, running people off is not the... I assumed what they were going to do is get people into teams, give people, you know, the, you know, like they were doing the other day. I don't know who exactly was in charge of the search the other day, but if they, you know, if they found anything, they knew not to touch it. They knew not to film it. and get someone there who knew what they were doing. That's how the dog turned up. So it's just dreadful. Anyway, let's carry on with this dog.
That scent in the water, on the water, as well as on land.
So wait, that's fascinating. First of all, I wanted to ask you if there are any other dogs other than just cadaver dogs, maybe a scent dog looking to follow Riley's scent on land. I'll get to that in a moment. But back to the cadaver dog. If the cadaver dog is in the boat on the surface and there's a cadaver many feet down, can the dog actually detect that?
Well, I don't know what the dog's specific limitations are, but the short answer is yes. If there is a body in the water, cadaver in the water, the dogs are capable of detecting that scent.
They are capable, but again, he doesn't know about this dog. He does not know about this dog because it's not his dog. Not his dog. So what he should have said is, I can't comment on this specific dog. Can't comment on this dog because it's not my dog. However, generally speaking, a good cadaver dog can alert many feet down, providing that they're directly over the target. In a fast-flowing river like this, it's very doubtful that a dog would find anything unless it was directly, right over the target. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Do you know of any other canines who might be tracking? Family might have been able to provide something of Riley's with Riley's scent so that they could let them loose in that very small area. This is I'm so frustrated. The area where Riley disappeared is small, and it would seem to me you could flood the zone and accomplish a lot on land as well. Have you seen any evidence of tracking dogs?
Well, I personally had some discussions with the investigator from Nashville PD on this, and we discussed the possibility of using tracking dogs. And I also spoke with a local dog trainer who also trains tracking dogs. And it was determined that because of the time lapse between when Riley went missing and the circumstances around it, that a tracking dog would probably not be effective. The other part of that equation is that this riverbank, what you're showing in.
So that is absolutely true, right? So he's correct on that. Whichever dog trainer advised him about that is absolutely, as I always say, live scent trackers are absolutely pointless. Pointless. All the dogs that you see when a search is a week or more old are going to be cadaver dogs. I had somebody in my comments yesterday saying, no, the dog that alerted on Saturday was a live scent tracker. No, it wasn't. It was a cadaver dog. You are never going to pick up a live scent a week or more later, especially in an urban area. You're not. But he was right on that. So whichever dog trainer that advised him was absolutely right. Would have been pointless having live scent trackers out there. We know where Riley walked because he was on camera the whole time. Okay.
In your picture there, looks relatively flat, relatively easy to traverse, and nothing could be further from the truth. I went down the riverbank with two girls who found a debit card today, and it is absolutely treacherous. I doubt that you could get a dog down that embankment safely with a handler.
Of course you could get a dog down there. The dog could get down there, no problem. The dog would just run down there. The handler is another matter, but the TikTokers managed to get down there. Anyway, this is the problem I've got now with what's going on in Hendersonville in the search for Sebastian Rogers. We have an issue. We have the equivalent of what went down in the Nicola Buller case last year here in the UK. That you have a circus that the media is feeding off, Why wouldn't they want to feed off it? Because people are all interested in it. People are all up in this now, right? You have people who were willing to search, who were willing to go boots on the ground, who've been driven off because this United Cajun Navy have come along, wanted people to sign up and done nothing. Listen, if they were out there, actually out there saying, look, listen, we don't want people to live stream because, you know, we're a bit concerned about where that footage is going to go, etc., etc. But they were actually out there, I would be fine with that. I'd be like, all right, then, you know, film so that you can edit it. So take the footage, don't film it live, but film, take the footage, and then upload it later. That's fine. Now, when the other dude, what's his name? The other dude, Brian something, who was from the United Cajun Navy, who was on Nancy Grace the other night. And he said, look, we don't mind people filming, you know, as long as they're not doing it live. And Nancy said, no, I want to see the unedited footage. I want to see it all. It's like, great. Good on you, Nancy. Good on you. I can see the downsides of live streaming when it's an active search. I absolutely can. However, it's my opinion now that the United Cajun Navy are telling people, are driving people away who might live stream because they will take the limelight, and it will also show what little they're doing. It will show that they're not actually out there. If they can't be bothered to do a search, if they call off a search for an entire day because of a little bit of drizzle early in the morning, you have absolute, you have lost my respect right there, because I'm in the UK where it rains every single day. What are these guys going to do when it rains? Are they going to melt? Are they made of sugar? Are they going to melt when a little drop of rain goes on them? Ridiculous. Right. Well, here's what's actually going on from the, you know, the official standpoint. This is actually what's going on. Is the United Cajun Navy a different group to the Cajun Navy in Louisiana? We've no idea. This is another issue. We've no idea, because there's various organizations with the moniker Cajun Navy. We don't know which one's which. So I don't know. Anybody can come along and call themselves a Cajun Navy. So we don't know. We don't know. Yeah, you definitely used to rain if you live in Scotland. Yeah, I'm about 100 miles south of the Scottish border. And it's rained pretty much every single day here for the last, I want to say, the last 6 months. We've not had one day without rain. Maybe one. Maybe one. So, you think law enforcement has vetted them? Really? All right, okay. All right, so this is News Channel 5 and Nick Barry's. Can I get rid of this banner down here? Close, yes. All right, this came out last night and has been updated this morning. All right, so this is Nick Barris from News Channel 5. The dog wasn't green. That's exactly how the breed works. Oh, I don't know what we're talking about there. There were tornado warnings. What, yesterday? There was a tornado warning. Well, it was blue skies. So why didn't they just go out when they realised that there was no tornado? And they're afraid of getting wet. Yeah. That's a bit problematic, isn't it? Running Bear, are you talking about the same Cajun Navy, though? That's the issue. United are the good ones. They weren't at Riley's search. These idiots were. See, this is another problem. There might be a Cajun Navy organization that's absolutely fantastic. But is it this organization that is now on the ground in Hendersonville, supposedly looking for Sebastian, taking donations for Sebastian's search? Are they the same people that have done good work in disaster zones? This is the problem. It's very confusing, convoluted. Thank you. Convoluted. The real Cajun Navy in Louisiana is fantastic and heroic. These guys in Hendersonville are clowns. Cajun Navy 216 is the real one. So the United Cajun Navy that's here in Hendersonville is not the real one. They're the fake one. I'm surprised. I'm just. It's making my head hurt. Not the same group from Katrina, so from the hurricane. You've not seen them asking for donations. Okay. What about the publicity that creates the donations? What about that? All right. All right. So let's read this and listen to this news article, because this is the actual, like, take out the Cajun Navy, whichever group is the real one, take them out of the equation. We're going to take a look at what's actually going on at the moment in the search for Sebastian Rogers from the official point of view. Doesn't the police have to approve them all? No. Anybody can go out there. As long as they're not trespassing, anybody can go out there and search. They're asking people to sign up for search and sign paper and give a donation. Let's have a look on their Facebook page. Bear with me. United Cajun Navy. Excuse me. All right, I think this is the right one. United Cajun Navy. Search for Sebastian. Postponed due to weather. See below for more. 21 hours ago. Due to unsafe weather conditions, mobilisation efforts are on hold and UCM members will not be at 90 Volunteer Drive. Hold donations for the time being. Okay. All right. Thanks for understanding. We are not collecting any more donations for today. So that indicates that they have collected donations. All right. And thank you to every single person who has dropped off supplies, picked up supplies for us or anything else. So donations for food and water. All right. That's cool. All right. The donation drop-off window will be 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Tomorrow morning will be a safety briefing at 10 a.m. Did that happen? Did that happen? So remember, this is 3:25. So tomorrow morning will be 3:26. So did that happen? No, because it was postponed. All right. Okay. All right. So the stuff that they want. Again, this location is only for volunteers and media wanting to coordinate alongside the United Cajun Navy while following any current or future rules. All media and volunteers must check in. All volunteers who check in must have valid government-issued driver's license or ID and a current vehicle registration and emergency contact. If you don't sign in with the United Cajun Navy, you are not a part of our search. Respect one another. Law enforcement and any all property owners, that includes no littering and following, blah, 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 no smoking. If at any time United Cajun Navy members or property owners ask you to leave, you must vacate the premises or law enforcement will be called. We ask that there's no live streams of searches of volunteers. Of course, small video, etc. may be used for media posting at a later time. Live streams could capture sensitive information or other areas that may be sensitive and don't need to be publicized live due to the possibility this could evolve into a criminal investigation. I can see their point of view. If you're live streaming, you got to be responsible about it. We all need to keep that in mind. We also need to keep Sebastian in mind. If you have any questions regarding tangible donations specifically, or other blah, 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 we ask you work alongside UCN. So they're not, if you sign up to volunteer or to donate in other ways, visit our website. Where's their website? So they're not specifically asking you to donate money. There's people wanting to donate stuff. Where's their website? Let's have a look at their website. A registered non-profit focused on helping make the world around us a better place. All right, cool. So how do I sign up to get involved in the Sebastian Rogers? How do I sign up? Volunteer today. Get involved, make a difference. Volunteer now. Okay. Opportunities. Social media volunteer. Well, how do I sign up? Yeah, I've just been on Facebook, Angel. I've just that's what I've just read. But how do I sign up to Sebastian's search? The fact that I'm 4,000 miles away, just let's ignore that. So disaster supply chain network, hurricane response, Cajun operations and volunteers. So how do I sign up? All right, let's try and sign up from Facebook. So they're not making it easy. Please see our missing persons group page for updates on the search. They're not making it easy for me to sign up. If I wanted to volunteer today, is there actually a search today, the 27th? You know, I could teleport 4,000 miles to Hendersonville, Tennessee, and I could want to, you know, what time would it be there? Probably 7:30. So just in time to go out searching. So do I have to just turn up? Where do I sign in? Where do I sign in? So it's 6:40 a.m. there. All right, so nearly 7. So if you want to sign up to volunteer or to donate in other ways, please visit our website, which I've just been to. So I'll go back there. Donate. All right, so wants me to donate money. Well, I'm not going to donate money. Instead, we're going to go to volunteer today. So I've been to this place already. Help. How can we help you? No, I don't want that. It's opening up a new window every time. This is so annoying. Calendar. So today, social media volunteer, Cajun operations volunteer, view details. So there's 999 slots open. Social media volunteer, volunteer to help us manage social media posts. There's no way I can sign up on their website to search for Sebastian Rogers. No way I can do it. I can donate very easily. Listen, this is their donate. This is their donate. There. That comes up. Put your card details in here. But where is the sign-in sheet that it says on Facebook, I can just go and sign in. Listen, this is what it says on their Facebook. If you want to sign up to volunteer or to donate in other ways, please visit our website. So where do I sign up? Can't sign up on the website to search for Sebastian. So therefore, I've got to go here. 90 Volunteer Drive, Hendersonville, Tennessee. Got to go and sign in there. So did anybody turn up there yesterday and then get told that there was no search because of a little bit of drizzle? I don't know. So you just show up. You just show up. All right, you just show up. So what if somebody's travelled, maybe not 4,000 miles, but have travelled 50 miles because they've seen the, they've seen the publicity, and they turn up and there's no one there? What happens then? What do they do then? It's spitting. It's spitting. Yeah, it is. It poured rain here yesterday, Shay. It wasn't in Hendersonville. It was raining a little bit in the morning. But in the afternoon, Dolly Vision was flying his drone and it was clear blue skies. So there was absolutely no reason why there couldn't have been a search in Hendersonville yesterday afternoon and everybody would have stayed dry. Please stop shouting. I will try. Searches can be cancelled anytime. Okay, cool. Stop raining a little after 11 a.m. There you go. Unbelievable. All right. Okay, let's look at the actual legitimate search. I'm just going to close down all these windows. It's only like about 20 windows. Okay. So this is Nick Berris from News Channel 5. So we'll play this clip, so nearly 3 minutes, and then we'll read the article. So Nick Berris was invited into the nerve network of the search for Sebastian.
Tonight with an exclusive look inside the ongoing search for Sebastian Rogers. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. The 15-year-old disappeared 1 month ago from his Hendersonville home. And since then, there have been few updates from authorities.
The case is certainly frustrating, and we know it's impacted the entire community, which is why we're committed to sharing the very latest with you, including what's still being done now to find Sebastian.
Our Nick Berris was granted full access to the Sumner County Emergency Operations Center to find out, and takes us inside in this exclusive report.
It was 1 month ago that Sebastian Rogers disappeared from his Hendersonville home. Now, this is one of the first times anyone's been inside the Sumner County Emergency Operations Center with a chance to take a look at all that's been done on this map to help find the teen.
This is the system that we use to track all of our searchers.
Ken Widener is director of Sumner County EMA, and from the beginning, he has spearheaded the official search for Sebastian.
The investigation's still active.
It was nonstop during the first 8 days after the teen disappeared. No trace of him. The professional search effort has since been scaled back, though Widener appreciates volunteers who continue to look following their own leads.
I'm not going to beat up psychics and things, but we've got to vet what we do before we do it.
Widener says they follow up credible leads from law enforcement.
And anytime the sheriff's office indicates or TBI indicates where you've got an area of interest that we need to search, we go. We're ready to go.
And this sophisticated mapping system in the Emergency Ops Center shows they've been busy. There's a report of bones found, and they go.
Fresh bones. We checked that out. It was deer bones.
Divers and spelunkers have been deployed to area ponds and sinkholes.
The white dots are caved, and they've all been searched.
Also, they've looked in every storm drain within a half-mile of Sebastian's home, and some have wondered about the home itself.
The house was searched at least 10 times.
Dogs?
Dogs, yep.
Widener says bloodhounds and cadaver dogs were used, but contrary to some reports,
none of them, to my understanding, were actually on a trail that was following Sebastian.
To date, it's as though the boy simply disappeared.
Have you found evidence of Sebastian yourself when you've been out there?
No.
As busy as this map is, I'm told there's still areas to be checked to look for Sebastian Rogers, and no one is giving up. In Sumner County, Nick Barris, News Channel 5.
It is such a mystery. To date, Sumner County.
So, a little bit to unpack there. This map is immense. I want to play with this map. This map that they've got up on this big screen is immense. I mean, if that's touchscreen, that is even more immense. So those are all the points where they've set. I mean, look at that. So I don't know what these circles stand for, but these are all different points. So, like markers, what they mean, don't know. Why have we got big circles and little circles? I don't know. We've got question marks. Presumably they're things that need to get searched. And then the report of fresh bones. Presumably that would have been from Saturday, maybe. Range circle, thank you. Was deer bones. I'm assuming that it's not the only animal bones that they found. Look at that. So we've got caves, deer blinds, ponds, large pond, pond cleared, ring camera. So all that's been mapped out on this thing. Now, they did say that they'd, in the first 8 days, they'd covered a radius of 5 miles. Now, I've got that on... Hold on, I'll have to stop sharing and then share another different way to do this. I've plotted these out. So that's what a 5 mile radius looks like. So with his home being obviously the center point, and then 5 miles in each direction, that's what they searched in the first 8 days. So it takes you through Hendersonville to basically touching the Cumberland River. So it doesn't look very far, but imagine actually doing that. But look, we've no idea what happened to Sebastian. Absolutely no idea whatsoever. And I'm going to come on to this dog dilemma in a minute, because this guy in this news piece said that there was no track. As far as he understood it, there was no track, no dog track. Now we've been told by Seth, Sebastian's dad, we've been told by law enforcement that there was a track, and we've been told by Chris and Katie, all been told that there was a track at the construction site. But now this guy has told Nick Barris that there was no track. So I don't know what to think. But let's just imagine that Sebastian did run away. Let's imagine that he planned to run away, that he was sick of what was going on at home. He wasn't getting believed when he was telling people that he was being hit. He didn't understand why he was being hit. He was unhappy at home and he decided to run away, as sadly a lot of teenagers do. Sadly, they do. Let's imagine he ran away. A 5-mile radius, he could have been, like, how long does it take to walk 5 miles? Remember, he's 15. He's not a little child. He's not 3. He's 15. How long would it take you to walk 5 miles? At a normal walking speed, how long would it take you to walk 5 miles? It would take me probably about an hour and a half. Just like, you know, sauntering along. Not a brisk pace, just a normal walking pace. So from here to Wigan, I could be in Wigan walking in an hour and a half. An hour and 15. All right, that's pushing it. I'm just going to saunter along an hour and a half. So if he carried on walking, if he left, if he heard his mother going to bed and he left when he thought, oh, his mother's asleep, so he's going to leave, he could have been 15 miles away easily. He could have sat down, had a chill out, he could have had a nap, and still be out of the search area by the time anybody even realised he was missing. No scent trail, no video. That's a problem. That's a massive problem for this running away scenario. Did I watch the Caleb Harris disappearance on Nancy Grace last night? Yes, I did. Did I watch Nancy Grace? I have been following the Caleb Harris. Someone in a live stream the other day talked about Caleb, and I've been following his case ever since. I am going to do a live stream about Caleb because it's absolutely fascinating. That is an absolute mind bender. Where has he gone? It's like he's literally been beamed up. And it's pretty much the same with Sebastian. He's been beamed up. Anyway, that's what a 10-mile radius looks like. So that takes you all the way to the outskirts of Nashville. It covers Gallatin, Millersville. So he could have been 10 miles away. He could have been the other side of Gallatin by the time it was even noted that he was missing. Just, you know, I'm just saying, imagine the scenario of how far he could have gone before it was even realised he was missing. Take away the problem of there's no camera footage of him and no one's seen him. That's the big issue. The dog track is a massive issue because we've got this inconsistency now. Was there a dog track or not? But we're going to come on to that. This is what 20 miles looks like. So 20-mile radius, that's what that looks like. It takes you all the way to the other side of Nashville. It takes you past Portland, past Springfield, all the way to Pleasant View, almost to Ashland City. That's where Riley Strain was found, incidentally. Could he have walked 20 miles by the time his mother got up? 20 miles is pushing it. 20 miles is pushing it. I did 50 miles just for the sake of it. And that takes you all the way past Clarksville. Because one of the early theories was, had he tried to go to his dad's? His dad lives about an hour away. Maybe he did. So it takes you past Franklin all the way to Columbia. There, I can't say that. Murfreesboro. Gainsborough. You've got a Gainsborough in the UK. Past Lafayette, past Scottsville, all the way to Bowling Green. Nearly to Princeton, Hopkinsville. That's what 50 miles takes you. But they searched 5. He could have been out of this search radius in less than an hour and a half. Just saying. However, you would think if that was the case, he would have been seen on at least one camera. He would have been seen on at least one dash cam. He would have been seen on at least one Ring doorbell. Somewhere. Maybe if he'd gone 5 miles, maybe not, because he could have kept to the woods and the pasture. So maybe the odd trail cam might have, had a chance of picking him up. Conceivably, he could have gone 5 miles and not been picked up by any cameras if he was clever about it. If he, clocked where the cameras were and avoided them. So if he planned, because he was a good chess player. So you've got to imagine that somebody who's a good chess player would also be good at planning an escape. So he may have purposefully avoided cameras. But if you've gone further than 5 miles, you're going to struggle to find, to get anywhere without being picked up on any cameras. If you go 10 miles out, you're going to either have to stay in this wooded area here, and where have you been for the last 4 weeks? But no one will have found him. But what would he have been eating? What would he have been living on? So the running away scenario, the longer this goes on, the running away scenario becomes less and less likely to me. Because that was my number one, was he's run away. He's a teenager. He's run away. Now, I think it's gone on too long. There's been too many people looking. There's been too many people with eyes on this area. Hopefully, somebody surely would have seen something that resembled him on a camera somewhere. And the longer it goes on, what is he eating? Even if he'd taken some food with him, he's going to have run out in 4 weeks. You're not going to be able to carry 4 weeks worth of food. So the running away scenario becomes less and less likely to me. So unless he's encountered foul play in the home, and I know a lot of people think he has, but there's no evidence of that. No evidence of that we've been told about. So what's the other option? Abduction. Well, I was an abductor, got him away from that area without being seen. And this is why I've been thinking that this dog track to the construction site must be the way out, that somebody has befriended him and waited with a vehicle at the construction site. So all he's had to do is walk to the construction site. The dog's picked his scent up at the construction site, but he's in a car with somebody who he thought was a friend. That's the only thing I can think would leave no trace other than a little bit of dog track. Now we're told there's no dog track. So I'm struggling now. Let's go back to this article. Let's listen to it again, where he talks about the dog.
Caved, and they've all been searched.
Also, they've looked in every storm drain within a half mile of Sebastian's home, and some have wondered about the home itself.
The house was searched at least 10 times.
Dogs?
Dogs, yep.
Widener says bloodhounds and cadaver dogs were used, but contrary to some reports,
None of them, to my understanding, were actually on a trail that was following Sebastian.
To date, it's as though the boy.
So where has this story of the track at the construction site come from? Where has that come from? We can't be more than 4 weeks along this case now and still be arguing the most basic details. Was there a dog track at the construction site or not? Because this is what Seth said. This was an article. Again, News Channel 5. I talked about this in a live stream last week. And this was Seth's words. With the information I've gotten, so this is Seth, not the stepdad, this is bio dad, the guy who's been out busting his balls to find his son, right? With the information I've gotten from Sumner County and TBI, and the fact dogs aren't 100%, they're not picking up his scent. However, one dog tracked him to a construction area over there. So we all know now what the construction area is. It's the, if you look on a map, it's to the right of Stafford Court. And there's a lot of new houses and there's still construction going on. And this is what we were told. One dog tracked him to a construction area over there and it just disappeared. And it's confusing. There are missing pieces to the puzzle and I'm having difficulty solving this. That's from Seth. Now on Nancy Grace, Chris and Katie also talked about the same thing. So they've been told, now you might choose not to believe Chris and Katie because you might say, well, they're covering up. You know, they're covering up for murdering him. But you can't say that to both Chris and Katie and Seth because they're not speaking to each other. They're not speaking to each other. So they must have been both told independently of each other that there was a track at the construction site. So why now are we told by this guy that there was no track? Like, what's the truth? Was there a track at the construction site or not? Because if it's true that there was no track at the construction site, then how on earth has he been abducted? How? Because currently, with the knowledge of that dog track at the construction site, it's been my number one theory that he's been befriended by somebody. They've told him to go out and meet him. He's walked down the road to the construction site and a car's been waiting for him and he's been lowered there and then he's been bungled into a car and he's been abducted. That was my number one theory. That fits with the fact that he's not on camera, the fact that no one's seen him, there's no sign of him at all. 4 weeks down the line, there's no sign of him. There's no evidence of foul play in the house. So what on earth? Now take away that little tantalizing dog track at the construction site, which gives me that little bit of information. Take that away and I've got nothing. Take that away completely and I've got nothing. But I can't. It's so confusing. Your number one theory is mom or stepdad. Always was. Yeah, but how have they done it? Like, if there's no sign of foul play in the house, how have they killed him? How have they killed him? Timilla found a little 8-year-old in Houston that got sucked into a pipe in the Lazy River at a hotel. Oh, that's awful. Oh, that's dreadful. Cadaver dog went to a retention pond and hit there. They drained the pond, but nothing was there. Now, it was a live scent tracker that did that, not a cadaver dog. this is what I'm saying. That there was this track has supposedly tracked Sebastian to the construction site and then to the site of a retention pond. So you kind of think, well, has he fallen in the pond? But the pond's been drained. It was only knee deep anyway. But where? But we can't be 4 weeks down the line and still be arguing, was there a dog track in the construction site or not? There either was or there wasn't. Anyway, let's read this. It's been 1 month since Sebastian Rogers went missing from his Hendersonville home. There's been few updates from authorities since that time. This is the problem with the TBI. This is what they did in the Summer Wells case. They go off-grid completely. They're shut down. They don't give any updates. And then that fills the internet with speculation. It creates a void that people fill in, understandably, because they want to know. You know, they want to know what's happened, and they speculate. But what's still being done to find the boy? I, Nick Berris, was granted full access to the Sumner County Emergency Operations Centre to find out. This is the first time a reporter has been inside it to see what's being done to find the team. So this was Sumner County. The guy from Sumner County, director of Sumner County EMA, says he's not aware of a dog track. So where is the this is the system we use to track all of our searches, said Ken Widener, director of Sumner County EMA. He showed me it's a sophisticated search mapping system. So that's the thing that was on the screen. From the beginning, he spearheaded the official search for Sebastian. The investigation is still active. It was non-stop during the first 8 days after the teen with autism disappeared without a trace. The professional search effort has since been scaled back, though Widener appreciates volunteers continuing to look following their leads. I'm not going to beat up psychics. I'll beat up some psychics for him then. Not going to beat up psychics, but we have to vet what we do before we do it, he said. Widener said his EMA team followed up on credible leads from law enforcement. Anytime the sheriff or TBI says we need to deploy, we go. We are ready to go, he said. And this sophisticated mapping system in the Emergency Operations Centre shows they've been busy. There's a report of bones found and they go. We checked that out. It was deer bones. Divers and spelunkers. What's a spelunker? What's a spelunker? Have been deployed to areas, ponds and sinkholes. Yes, they did. They've had dogs in the house, yeah. It's been searched 10 times. 10 times. It said it in this article. A cave explorer, thank you. Former dog track maybe prior to this build. No, it was a live scent tracker. It was a live scent tracker tracking Sebastian's scent. So it has to be Sebastian's scent in the last few days. Christina, thank you for the $4.99. Most construction sites, large ones especially, have cameras to protect their materials. They have to protect their tools and materials. Apparently, there was no cameras at this construction site. There's, to be honest, there's not that much there. Like Dolly Vision went there yesterday, and there's a digger. There's not like loads of materials and stuff, and it's right behind some houses. Cluminati have also filmed there as well. I think JLR filmed there. So there's nothing really, like, apart from a digger. You could steal a digger, but like a lot of the houses, because on the map it just looks like, on Google Maps, I'll show you what it looks like on Google Maps. It looks really different now. So this is what it looks like on Google Maps. It looks really, really different now. Like a lot of these houses, like the ones closest to the road, are all built. So it's only this at the back, the very back here. So if you go up like this road here and go here, this is where the construction is right now. It's right at the back. Much of this is now built. People are living in houses here now. So Google Maps just hasn't updated. So it's right the way back here. So it'd be an ideal place to tell a teenager to meet and then be away with no trace. But what was my thing? Okay. All right, back to this. Divers and spelunkers have been deployed to area ponds and sinkholes. The white dots are caves, and they've all been searched. They've looked in every storm drain within half a mile of Sebastian's home. Yeah, I'd have looked wider than that. Some have wondered about the home itself. The house was searched at least 10 times. Dogs? Yes. Widener says bloodhounds and cadaver dogs were used. None of them were ever on the trail of Sebastian. You see, this is the guy from Sumner County EMA saying none of them tracked him. Well, who's told Seth and Chris and Katie that there was a track at the construction site? Where's that come from? I'm not saying I believe Chris and Katie. I'm not saying I believe them, but I do believe Seth. I do believe Seth, and if he says he's been told that there was a track, a live scent track at the construction site, I'm going to believe him, but I want to know who told him. Because that's my number one theory, completely blown out of the window, if there wasn't a track at the construction site. Today it is as though the boy simply vanished. Have you found evidence of Sebastian out there? No. As busy as this map is, there's still areas to be checked and no one is giving up. To date, the Sumner County EMA has deployed more than 1,400 trained search personnel to look for Sebastian. 1-800-TBI find, guys. Honestly, it's so confusing. And if you get into the Caleb Harris case, that's even worse. That's even worse. I mean, how is it possible for someone to literally just fall off the face of the earth? How is it possible? Bet he was injured in his home and taken away. How though? Yeah, I talked about that yesterday, Elaine. There was a homeless person living there and one man died. That's the scent the dogs picked up. Yeah, that was 7 miles away, though. We're not talking about the same place. This construction site is next to Sebastian's home. So we're getting confused here. We're getting confused between the dog track at the construction site, which was picked up by the dogs, allegedly, according to Seth, on the very day that Sebastian disappeared. They had the dogs out, and Seth said they picked up a track at the construction site. Now we're being told by Sumner County EMA that didn't happen. The scent dog that JLR filmed on Saturday, that was 7 miles to the south. And that was a cadaver dog, a Belgian Malinois that led down, which was an alert. And they explained that, so the United Cajun Navy explained that, believe them if you choose to, saying that was a homeless person that had died there. So I talked about that yesterday. But I want to know, well, how do they know a homeless person died there? How do they know? Where's that information come from? What we're getting here is the game of telephone teamed with totally contradictory evidence. One person says one thing, another person says something else. He was told that only by Chris. No, he wasn't. He was told by law enforcement that there was a track at the construction site. He was told by law enforcement, according to News Channel 5. This is Seth. These are Seth's words on News Channel 5. With the information I've gotten from Sumner County and TBI, and the fact that dogs aren't 100%, they're not picking up his scent. However, one dog tracked him to a construction area over there and it just disappeared. It's so confusing. So no, he got that from the cops. Has the RV been checked? Yes, all the vehicles have been checked. Let's get the TBI, because people forget that the TBI have a handy dandy Q&A thing. All right. So this is the TBI newsroom. So if you followed the Summer Wells case, you'll know what the TBI does. It stays totally silent and lets the internet speculate to its heart's content and just puts out some useful frequently asked questions that people don't read. All right, so this was published for Sebastian on March 15th. But it was updated on the 22nd. It's updated on the 22nd. Special agents and intelligence analysts continue to go over and review information that has been collected since the search for Sebastian began. They also continue to follow up on tips and leads as they come in. To date, more than 240 tips have been provided through the tips to TBI at tbi.tn.gov email and the 1-800-TBI find tip line. We still encourage residents who live within the search area, so it's a 5-mile radius, to check their property, their outbuildings. But I'd check further. If you live 20 miles, check. Their outbuildings, underdecks, inside boats or cars, anywhere a teen may be able to hide. If residents have property that has terrain that may include ledges, holes, or unstable footing, and don't feel comfortable assessing it themselves, we can have someone from law enforcement to do that. Much of the work being done to track down information about where Sebastian may have gone is not something you will necessarily see in the public. But we want you to know that every day work is being done to find Sebastian. They've said that about Summer for the last almost 3 years. Summer is still missing. Okay. Any information you may have about Sebastian, what he likes, where he likes to go, the people he may know, if it can help us find Sebastian, please let us know. Because according to his mother, he's on complete lockdown. He's not allowed on the internet. He's not allowed anywhere on his own. So according to his mother, he should know nobody. But he's somewhere. All right. Okay. So this is his Amber Alert, as we all know. So they continue to work with the Sumner County Sheriff's Office and the FBI to both proactively pursue information that may be relevant to the search. Okay, I've not forgotten about Sebastian. In order to preserve the integrity of the investigation, where have they heard that before? It's Summer Wells. We cannot discuss many of the specifics surrounding the case, but we know how many people care about Sebastian and what can be done and still being done to bring him home. Okay, so these are the frequently asked questions. All right. So we ask the public to refrain from sharing speculation, but then choose not to tell us anything. But if you do have a tip for the TBI, it's 1-800-TBI find. These are the frequently asked questions. What areas have been searched? Thank you, Jane on the Journey, for the £2. That's very kind. What areas have been searched? Within the first several days of the search, more than 2,000 miles were searched on foot. Not literally. That's a combined total. But it was a 5-mile radius that they covered. Many of these areas were initially searched and searched again. Law enforcement officers have searched the neighbourhood, the surrounding neighbourhoods, schools, and many other areas of the county by foot. Bloodhounds and handlers have searched the same areas. There have been aerial searches with helicopters, drones, and a fixed-wing plane. These aerial searches have been conducted on multiple days and multiple nights using thermal imaging technology. Surely, if he was within the search area, something would have picked him up. So he's either not in the search area or he's deceased somewhere, hidden out of view. The neighbourhood where Sebastian lives has been canvassed. Neighbours' houses have been searched. Sebastian is autistic and his family says he's drawn to water. Pools in the neighbourhood were searched. Dive teams were brought in and bodies of water around the neighbourhood and beyond that area were searched, including caves. What about technology? Have you collected security videos from area homes and businesses? Have cell phones been checked? Many neighbours and businesses have provided video from homes and business surveillance systems. We are grateful for that cooperation. The video has been collected and from the beginning of the investigation has been analysed and enhanced where possible by tech experts within the TBI, FBI and Secret Service. To date, nothing gathered from these video systems has been determined to be significant. We do caution that some surveillance video being shared in the public may have been misinterpreted. So that they're referring to those, what look like flashlights here. May have been misinterpreted or misidentified or not shown in its entirety. It has been determined it does not hold any evidentiary significance to the investigation. Numerous search warrants have been executed, cell phone data has been analysed, and many other available digital evidence have been collected, searched, and documented. Information was collected from Sebastian's gaming system and has been analysed. So if he was talking to somebody via his games console or his phone, surely law enforcement would have been able to suss that out, that he was actually on the internet, you know, talking to people that his parents didn't know about. So they will know that. They're not going to tell us, but maybe they know that he was, or indeed he wasn't. These videos and all the electronic evidence has been reviewed, is often being re-investigated. What's going on now in the investigation? What's next? The search for Sebastian has not stopped. Every day, tips and leads are investigated. People are being interviewed and re-interviewed. Evidence that has been reviewed once already is being gone over again. We continue to ask residents in the area of the search to keep an eye on your property to see if anything may have been moved or displaced. Is this a place where a child could have hidden? If you have property that has ledges or holes or a teenager might find interesting and you can't search it yourself, please contact the tip line, 1-800-TBI-FIND, or tips to TBI at tbi.tn.gov. And then they're all grateful to the various organisations that have been out there. It's a head scratcher. It's a real head scratcher. Since call was directed to the sheriff's office and that 911, would it be recorded? I would imagine so, but I can't 100% tell you whether it was recorded or not. Like a non-emergency line, they might not record all calls. I don't know, honestly. If you ring the cops here, regardless of what call you ring, it's recorded, but I can't say that for Sumner County Sheriff's Office. I can only assume so. I mean, if he's been murdered by his parents, they've been very well, very evasive, very good at it. They've been very good at it. if it turns out that this is foul play by the parents, or at least mother and stepdad, have absolutely no qualms about Seth. I don't think Seth is involved in any way, shape, or form. I really don't. But if the mother and the stepdad have done something to him, they've been very good at covering their tracks. Very good. And it's not like he's a little baby. He's 5'5", 120 pounds. It's not a little tiny baby that you can put in a nappy bag or a duffel bag like Adam Montgomery did with Harmony and carry a body around. This is almost a grown man. He's the same size as me. I'm 5'5". I'm more than 120 pounds, but he's the same height that I am. So if I look at it like that, if I look in the mirror and think, well, how could somebody hide me? Where would they hide me? How could they take me? How could they move me and hide me without being seen on any surveillance at all? How could they have done it? So that's where my wheels spin, relating to, I think the parents did something. My wheels start spinning, thinking, well, how could they have done it without any evidence at all? The car trunk, yeah, but how would they have taken that car away without being seen? Because the whole neighborhood is cameraed. So it's like saying, well, Sebastian walked out the house without being seen, but you could say the same about a vehicle taking him away from the house. How was that vehicle taken away with Sebastian's dead body in it without being seen? So, how? It was seen. Yeah, she drove around the neighborhood. But they'll know exactly what time she went out and what time she came back. And she said she drove around the neighborhood as far as the school. Well, the school's just down the road. It's half a mile away. So she'd have been like 10 minutes. So how could you hide a body in that time? How? I don't understand. Look, the school is right here. Hold on. Where's the map? The school is right here. This is the school there. That's the school he went to, Beach High School. It's right there. It's down the road. She drove to the school. So she'd have been seen leaving, right, coming down here, along here, to the school. I'm sure the school has got cameras to see whether he'd gone to school. It's right there. So where's she hidden the body? How? Where's she hidden the body? Thank you, Gemma, for joining memberships. Welcome to the Secret Agents Club. Thank you, thank you. And I'm not saying the parents aren't involved. I'm not defending them. I'm not, because they have said some really shady stuff. I'm not defending them. However, my wheels spin thinking, practically speaking, how could they have got a 5'5" young man away and hidden him in the river? Where's the river? Where's the river? Where's the river? Mike, where's the river? Talking about the Cumberland River. It's 5 miles down here. That's 5 miles away. So if she's driven 5 miles and then 5 miles back, she's going to have been spotted on multiple cameras. I don't know. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if they've been if they're involved, if it turns out that the parents did it, they've been very clever. But I'm not defending them because they've done some shady stuff. Beating him with a belt. is shady. Leaving when he's still out there. What if he comes back? What if he turns up? What if he comes back? I mean, listen, he might have, right? He might have had a friend that nobody knows about, and he's been hiding out because he doesn't like his home life and he doesn't want to go home. And then his friend says, come on, Sebastian, it's time you went home. This is getting out of hand now. Like, you know, but there's people in other countries looking for you. And they take him home and there's no one there. I hope he remembers the code to get in. So that's shady as anything. Who leaves when, like, that's basically saying he's not coming back. It's basically saying they believe he's not coming back. But it doesn't mean to say they murdered him. And if they have, like I've said, my wheels spin when I can't work out how practically they could have done it and got away with it. Do you think they've given up hope? Or do you think they know? Katie's trained in MMA. I'm trained in MMA. Well, I'm trained in jiu-jitsu, not MMA, but I'm trained in jiu-jitsu. Am I going to be able to go and hide a body? So someone who's 5'5", who's my size, could I hide them without being seen on any surveillance at all and get away with it for 4 weeks? I'm not going to try it and find out. I do like my real world experiments, but I'm not going to try that one and find out. Does he have real friends? No, this is the thing. He has a couple of people that he calls his friends at school. You don't need to be trained in MMA to be able to choke someone out. You don't need to be able to do that. You don't need MMA training to choke someone out. But my point isn't how did she kill him, if indeed she killed him. My point is, where did she hide the body? Because it's not like he's a little child that she can stick in a freezer. Where is he? All the neighbours' houses have been searched. She took him to meet his stepdad halfway to Memphis. When? Karate is just a bunch of katas. You're not going to be able to. You're not a trained killer if you know a little bit of karate. But if you've done jiu-jitsu, MMA, that kind of stuff, it would fit in a chest freezer. Yeah, but where's the chest freezer? Where's that? The house has been searched for 10 times. So where's the chest freezer? Do you see what I mean? I'm not being deliberately antagonistic here. I'm just being practical. How do you hide a 5'5" young man for 4 weeks and counting without anybody suspecting you? Hidden panic room. Now, that's you're getting silly now. Maybe stepdad took him and dropped him off between home and work. How? Stepdad allegedly wasn't there until the afternoon. The cops were swarming all over the place. So how did he do it? Just think about it. Think it through logically. How would you do it? How would you do it? Put yourself in the position that you have a kid that you don't want, right? They're getting on your nerves. You want rid of them. Why wouldn't they just send him to his dad's if they want rid of him? Well, all right, you might think, well, maybe they don't want to pay child support. All right, okay. So That's that. Maybe it was an accident. Maybe they killed him accidentally. Maybe they didn't mean to do it. Maybe they killed him accidentally. Think it through. How would you do it? How would you hide the body without being seen, or without anybody suspecting you? Think about it. It can be done. Can they put him in a chest in that camper? No, because the camper wasn't there. Camper wasn't there. Chris went back to get the camper days later. The camper was in Memphis, or at least not Memphis, Mississippi. He didn't bring the camper, so no. She could have met Chris halfway. How? When? There is a crawl space in the basement. There is a crawl space in the basement, but the house has been searched 10 times with dogs. So if there's a crawl space, wouldn't they have found the crawl space? If you know, based on what is written on Zillow, I've read the Zillow listing as well, there is a crawl space basement. So don't you think the cops would know that there's a crawl space? Yeah. So I'm sure they've checked the crawl space. So there we go. How would you hide the body? Are we 100% certain that they're telling the truth about the date of his disappearance? According to a neighbour, Sebastian was seen taking out the trash on Sunday evening. If he was not seen leaving on CCTV or home cameras, maybe mum or stepdad could have left without being seen too. Not in a vehicle. It's easier to leave without being seen on foot in the night time than it would be to leave in a vehicle. You would think. The trash was heavy. Could she what? The trash was heavy. Who made the comment about the trash? Because it sounded interesting. Exactly, Lisa. With no logical facts, we're all speculating. Exactly. We're left to, well, how would you do it? If you were going to kill your kid, how would you get away with it? I mean, it's bizarre and macabre. This is what we do. This is what has happened in the Summer Wells case, because the TBI won't tell us anything. It's exactly the same now in the Sebastian Rogers case. Exactly the same. Who's to say they went to dinner and came back home that night? Could she have done something somewhere else? Well, no, apparently they did go back home. Apparently they were seen, and Sebastian was seen, taking out the trash by the neighbour. The neighbour across from them has got a camera that picks them up. If I've done any research on missing people, you will know this is a pattern. What pattern? How to get rid of people without being seen. The stepdad is sketchy. He is. But unless he's managed to get to Hendersonville from Memphis at a time when cops didn't know he was there, we have to assume that the cops have checked out where he was, and he wasn't there. He never left the house. Well, where is he then? If he's never left the house, he's still in the house. Well, if the cops have checked the house 10 times, where is he then? I mean, in 4 weeks, he's going to, listen, there's going to be one mighty smell. I'm sorry to be brutal, but a decomposing body in a house is going to stink. So where is he? Yeah, that's true enough, Queen of can't even speak, Queen of Ravens. Remember when the police thought that Roberta Laundrie was Brian? Yeah, there is that. There is that. We do have to assume that the cops aren't as stupid as Northport police. There's probably another man at the house. Do you know what, Pincho? That's exactly where I've gone. That there's potentially someone else that we don't know about. And the mother's acting shady because she's got a secret boyfriend. It's all speculation, though. Put the body in acid. Well, where's the acid? Where's the acid container? How have you managed to get that amount of acid without being seen? Where'd you buy acid from? Like, you're gonna enough acid to what, like hydrochloric acid or what? That could dissolve a body. You're gonna be that's one hell of a shopping list. He's not. If he's in the house, how have they missed him? How have they missed him if he's in the house? Maybe in the walls. Come on now. He's a man. He's virtually the size of a man. How do you hide a man in the walls? Can you imagine the stench? What kind of walls are they? Come on now. Let's at least be sensible about it. I mean, look at what happened when Adam Montgomery put Harmony's body, which was wrapped up in a trash bag, in a duffel bag, in the ceiling. What happened? The entire building stunk. They were getting complaints. They had to move her, but she was a little tiny baby, like 5 years old, but condensed down into like this bag. And even that was problematic. And when the cops went to, take the ceiling up, the stains of decomposition that leaked out of the bag. So I'm sorry, no, he's not in the walls. Don't understand how the cameras picked him up taking the trash out, but don't catch him leaving, because it was dark. So if you watch my video from yesterday morning, I said that the fact that they had two lights on was interesting, because it gives you an indication of what direction he might have gone in, if indeed he walked away. But let's go down to ground level here. So this is their house. Right. So this is their garage. And these two lights, we were told on Nancy Grace that these two lights are on the whole time. All right. So potentially these are the lights we might have seen in that surveillance footage that we thought were flashlights. I don't know. But they were moving. I don't know. But these lights are on the whole time. All right. So who else now has a camera? Do they have a camera? I don't know whether they have a camera. But apparently there's a camera across the street. So it must be this house here that saw Sebastian taking out the trash. But apparently that camera, whether it's that house or that house, can't see someone coming out when it's dark. So Sebastian must have, if he's come out, he's either gone round the back where the camera wouldn't pick him up at all, or if he's come out the front, right, he's not gone this way, because this would have been illuminated at night. So he must have gone this way if he went out the front. But if I was running away, I'd go out the back way, which fit in my head with, all right, there was a track to the construction site. But now I'm even doubting that there was a track at the construction site. I'm even more confused. This is Sebastian's bedroom here. but apparently he didn't go out the window. He can't get out the window. The screen's on the windows. So he's either gone out the front door and gone this way, because if he'd gone this way, round here, these lights here at the side potentially could have illuminated him enough for a camera to pick him up. So he's either gone this way or he's gone round the back. If he's gone round the back, that's how he's not been picked up on cameras, because he's gone up here. If you walk along this tree line here and then slip between two houses, you can be up to this construction site. You can just slip through these houses. You can slip through these houses and you're on the construction site. Who runs away with no shoes? This is another thing. How do we know that he didn't have shoes? How do we know he didn't have a pair of shoes that his parents didn't know about? Because we're assuming that, you know, we were led to believe at the beginning, we were led to believe that he was, you know, like some kind of disabled kid that, you know, could hardly speak, that was, you know, really intellectually challenged. But no, we've been told that he can beat grown men at chess. He may be socially awkward. He may not have, you know, a very good emotional intelligence, but he's a very clever boy in some ways. So how do we know that he's not planned it and knows exactly how to get away? That he's worked it out how to get away without being seen. Yeah, he might only have 3 pairs, but what I'm saying is, how do we know he didn't have a pair of shoes that no one knew about? Because Seth also said that his mother used to throw away his old shoes. How do we know that Sebastian hadn't gone and got one of those pairs of shoes back out of the trash and hidden them? How do we know that? Because it was Sebastian's chore to take out the trash. How do we know he wasn't hiding a pair of shoes? We don't know. We're all speculating. So, like, we can speculate on, well, where would they have hidden the body? Could he have taken his old shoes? Yes, that's what I'm saying. If you're planning to run away, you're going to have got stores. If you've planned it good enough, you can do it. This guy can beat grown men at chess. What's this? An elaborate game of chess, a game of cat and mouse. How do we get away without anybody knowing we've gone? We leave our phone behind, and we plan it all out. We plan the route so that we're not seen on surveillance. So I'm just saying, it's a speculation that maybe even wilder than some of the murder theories. But it's all we've got. All we've got is speculation, because Sebastian Rogers has been missing now for 31 days. 31 days. What about his medications? What about them? They weren't life. It wasn't life-threatening for him not to have his medications. So it wasn't like he had diabetes or something like that, where, you know, he would die if he didn't have his medications. Exactly. Kids exchange clothes, shoes, etc. all the time. Yeah. Yeah. And if you actually let a kid borrow his iPhone, no. That's crazy. It's too much like Summer Wells. Yeah, but the thing is, with Summer was 5. Summer was 5 when she disappeared. Sebastian's 15. He's almost a man. So if Sebastian really thought it through, he could have engineered a situation where he's got away without anybody knowing. Summer, at the age of 5, much less likely to have actually planned it to be able to get away without anybody knowing. But in other ways, it is very similar. We're all here speculating for nearly 3 years on what happened to Summer Wells. I sincerely hope that we're not hearing another 3 years, still speculating on what happened to Summer Wells, and then also what happened to Sebastian Rogers. Meanwhile, all we get from the TBI on both cases is a list of frequently asked questions and nothing else. And the circus, thank you, yes. And the circus. So for me, until we get more information, for me, it may have well been beamed up by aliens. They do. The TBI does need to clear some things up. They do. They need to be very definitive. There's absolutely no reason why they can't come out and do a press conference and lay the things to rest that people are speculating about. It wouldn't interfere with the investigation to tell us that there was or there was not, like definitively in a press conference, where you've got representatives from the TBI, you've got the Sumner County, you've got them all stood there, and they tell a consistent story that either, yes, there was or there wasn't a dog that tracked him to the construction site. And were there forensics done on the house when it was searched for 10 times, exactly what those searches involved? That's not interfering with the investigation for them to tell us things like that. It's not. Ashley, thank you for gifting 5 memberships. Who've got them? A1, Way Street, Mimi Toya, no, Tonya, sorry, Tammy, Pincho, and Broken Goth Doll. Thank you so much, Ashley. You're very kind, and you guys get a month's free membership courtesy of Ashley. Thank you, thank you. All right, I've been on for 2 hours. I said I was going to keep this to an hour so that it was watchable for people who were going to come and watch the replay. But now I've been on for 2 hours. So I am going to go. And you are green, yes. You are good. I've still got a headache. I'm more confused than ever. I will be back later if there's any breaking news. Otherwise, I'll see you tomorrow. I do want to cover Caleb Harris. I don't know whether I'll come back later today and do Caleb Harris. I may just give my head a rest because I've still got a headache from last night. Otherwise, I'll do Caleb tomorrow. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for the donations. Welcome to the new members. Thanks as always to the mods. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you soon. Bye, folks.